This stage of the Formula One season is when the search for those vital thousandths of a second really kicks into overdrive, and testing becomes just as important as it was during the winter pre-season. Nowhere is that more apparent than at the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team, where that huge responsibility lies with Indy Lall, the test team manager.
Pressure on the test team is incredible. We're in the background. We're never at circuits where there's a crowd watching us. Most of the guys that we have currently are young guys, and our intentions are to groom them so they will naturally step up to the mark in going onto our race team. Testing is very important. It's our means of information on how we can progress, develop the car, drivers' needs. So testing is, I would say, the backbone of producing a good car.
Testing has been one of the most important parts in the last 2 or 3 championships because the competition is so high and so tight that very small thing can make the difference. So I think testing requires a huge amount of mentality, concentration, and physically as well, because we need to do many laps every day, and the driver has to give feedback to the engineers in the right place, in the right moment, because we need to improve the car if we want to beat the others.
Their feedback is vital. Although the car is fully laden with sensors and valuable information coming that way, ultimately it has to be to his liking as to how the car is behaving in terms of speed, handling, the gearbox changes, because ultimately, like I say, they're going to be driving it, and we are developing to suit them.
For a driver, it's not only drive the car and be quick. I think you have to be involved also in the technical aspects and try to help as much as you can with your feelings, what the car requires to be faster, and I like all the technical stuff that's going on in the team.
To try and get some results in terms of preparation for Indianapolis, we would test at a circuit like Valencia, where we can use the high-speed corners. Tyre degradation is important, and brakes are important. So we can combine certain aspects of European circuits where we choose to go to simulate what we will endure at a circuit like Indianapolis.
In the current era of Formula One, the role of a test driver has never been more important, and in Spain's Pedro de la Rosa, the Vodafone McLaren Mercedes team have one of the very best around.
Pedro, I would say, is an exceptional talent, and I'm pleased to say that in the past few years he's been with us. So obviously he has grown with our current engineers, and together he should take a lot of praise for the current situation that we're in. Pedro's probably the most valuable driver we have.
Formula One develops so quickly in technical aspects. Even the drivers, we cannot follow the improvements that the car has every week. But I think probably the person that helps me more was Pedro.
In terms of bringing on a 2-time world champion and integrating within the team, I think there's nobody better to feed that information than Pedro. On the other hand, you've got, in relative terms, quite a novice in Lewis. So equally, the elderly gentleman that Pedro is, and the experience that Pedro has been, I would say, exceptional guidance to Lewis also.
Even though the test team's work is done away from the glitz and glamour of a race weekend, job satisfaction comes from the knowledge that their hours spent at the track have paid off for the race team on the other side of the world.
Test team misses out on the glory side, shall we say, in not getting the praises from the crowds and the champagne that flows naturally. Those guys deserve it, 100%. We take our praise from ourselves by doing a 100% job, provide as much information as we can to the drivers, to the engineers. Ultimately, when we go racing, we have a better package than the other teams. That's our success story, and that's our motivation. And we then share what we see on TV on a Sunday over a Grand Prix.